My name's Hunter Shallcross. I'm a major in digital media collaborative at the University of Cincinnati. So I'm from Louisville, born and raised, and then in 2021 I made the move to Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati's kind of an interesting place because it's not like a New York and it's not really like a Louisville. It kind of has its own weird vibe to it. People know each other, but you don't know everybody. I like making films there because you just have a very accurate look at what most of America looks like, which isn't, Los Angeles or New York. America's kind of run down in the bigger cities. And I like how, at least from a filmmaking aspect, how desolate it can look. I kind of like to make grim films, and for Cincinnati that works really well. Maybe not necessarily a compliment to the city, but I work here 4 days a week. Yeah, and I get a good filming location here that kind of looks pretty cool. And there's not a lot of people around, so it works really well. Yeah. We did it in like a little conference room, like a huddle room. It was really small, and it worked well for what the script entailed. So we were shooting a short film for one of my classes. This was kind of a week to write it, week to make it short film, and I got some of my roommates together and we did kind of an amateur little shoot, and it only took about 2.5 hours. I wrote this 3 days ago. It took me about 15 minutes. It's just kind of one of those things. I think it's about 4 pages where you have a good idea and it really can flow really quickly, and that's kind of what happened. So a day on the set as a student filmmaker is really hectic. It usually takes an hour to set up. Always some kind of problem that you probably have to solve on set, like you need batteries or you need more lighting. Once you have everything set up, you get to directing actors and making scenes. And yeah, we have a shot list that we follow, and so we actually know what our day is going to look like before we get there in terms of shots that we're going to do. But usually it never goes according to plan and we want to do a different shot or we're changing things up. So typically I'm a director, writer and director. That's just the role that I've luckily found myself in. And so I think a lot of people have a misconception that the director does everything on set. It's not really true. You actually probably do a little less than certain people. I kind of just stand around and watch the scenes play out and decide how I want them to look and how I want them to happen. It's typically a really low technical job. It's more so looking at stuff from an objective view and just trying to figure out how it pertains to your vision. For most of my films, I'm also a producer, so that kind of has a lot of getting the gear, getting the people to do it, getting the actors, securing the funds to do it, and that is the biggest part of a job for any kind of thing. It's just kind of organizing the army of people that you need to make a film. I think everybody likes movies, but I always really liked movies. And a lot of people told me that I should be a film major because I kind of was pretentious about the movies that I did like, and it just kind of stuck. I didn't have anything else I really wanted to do in college besides film, so there wasn't really anything coming up against it, and so I decided to be a film major pretty early on. Every film student has their Quentin Tarantino or their Wes Anderson. For me, it's always been David Lynch. I think his originality, his weirdness is just off the charts. A lot of people don't make the same stuff that he does, and I think as a director, he really embodies the passion and the spirit behind making movies. I have never been somebody to approach storytelling from a linear perspective. I like to make stuff that's weird and stuff that doesn't make too much sense because I think our reality often doesn't make too much sense. In terms of actors, I've been really inspired by Italian neorealism with just kind of pulling people off the street. I really don't, again, as I said, I think anybody can act if you put them in the right spot at the right time and kind of write a character around them. So I don't really try to scout my actors too much. I just kind of trust that they can do whatever I give them. I definitely think that I kind of have a bit of a contrarian view on modern film. I think we're going down a bad path in terms of popular film. We have, these, multiverses and sensationalized stuff that doesn't make the audience question what they're watching. And I like to be very audience hostile. I want people to really have to think and work to understand what I'm trying to say and really not understand my movies, which is something that I think is kind of lacking right now. But I also just kind of think I have a little bit of an unbridled creativity in terms of my filmmaking that I just don't really see out there. Not to say that people aren't making good stuff, but I think I have just unbridled creativity to bring to the filmmaking industry. That's a wrap, I think.
Fuck yeah.
You guys happy with that? That was pretty fun.